Welcome, kids, to Multigram Conversions featuring mole ratios. Hashtag, how excited are you? No, seriously. Question mark.
Very excited.
Very excited. Great. Well, let's get right to it. Erase everything here. So we're going to do a very familiar looking problem from the last video. Already balanced. We have 3 moles of iron, and it reacts with 4 moles of water to produce a mole of Fe3O4 and 4 moles of hydrogen gas. So we could ask you any number of questions based on this. We could ask you mole ratios. We could ask you, well, basically we can ask you mole ratios. We can also ask you this other type of question that we haven't really talked about yet, and that's how to use mole ratios to find grams of another product. So for example, let's say I have, let me write in a different color here. Let's say I have 1.25 moles of iron, and I want to know how many grams of this Fe3O4 are produced if I have 1.25 moles of iron and enough water to make the thing happen. So we got to do a multi-step conversion right here. So first I'm going to have to go from moles of iron to moles of Fe3O4 and then to grams of Fe3O4. So step 1, set up my train track. 1.25 moles of iron.
So if you have an equation that's not balanced, the first thing you always need to do is balance your equation.
Really, really good point. We already had this one balanced from the last video, but always remember to do that. And we've got every 3 moles of iron. How many moles of Fe3O4 do I get?
1.
1. I got that from my coefficients. So here we go. So moles of iron cancel out. 1.25 times 1 divided by 3 is going to give me 0.417 moles of Fe3O4. And we're not quite done yet. We're using our sig figs here, 3 sig figs. We got to do one more step. We've converted from moles of iron to moles of Fe3O4. Now we need to go from moles to grams of Fe3O4. So we're going to do that by putting what we found here, moles of Fe3O4, train track. I want to get rid of moles, so in 1 mole of Fe3O4, we find molar mass.
Oh, molar mass again.
Molar mass is back again to torture you. So how many grams are in 1 mole of that? We add everything together, and it's 231.531 grams of Fe3O4. So moles cancel out here. So then we do the moles times the molar mass divided by 1. And that's going to give us approximately 96.5 grams of Fe3O4. And that is your answer. So if I start with 1.25 moles of iron, I get 96.5 grams of Fe3O4, assuming there was enough water to make the reaction happen.
Okay. So we're just pulling everything together now.
Pulling everything together. So what if I start with grams and, oh man, now I have to erase stuff. Erasing takes a long time.
So this is called mole to gram. And now we're going to do gram to mole, where we start with the mass. So same thing. You've got to remember everything we've already learned and pull it all together.
Man. I wrote a lot here. And my OCD won't let me. Otherwise, okay, let's say I have 25.5 grams of water. 25.5 grams of water, and I want to know how many moles of H2 that produces. So how many moles of that? All right, so if we look, iron and Fe3O4 aren't even involved here. So what I'm going to do this 2-step problem all in one long train track this time, just to show you guys how to do that. So I start with 25.5 grams of water. I can't go directly to moles of H2 because there's no conversion for that. What I have to do first is I have to go from grams of water to what?
Moles of water.
Right. So
using molar mass.
Using molar mass again. So in 1 mole of water, there is 18.015 grams. Okay. My grams of water will cancel out. I am currently at moles of water.
Okay.
So now, can I go from moles of water to moles of H2?
Yep. Using your mole ratio.
Using mole ratio. So 4 moles of H2O for every 4 moles of H2. My moles of water cancel out. So now once I multiply all the way across and divide by the product all the way across, I end up with 1.42 moles of H2.
And if it's too hard for you to do it in 2 steps using a long train track, you can certainly split it up into 2 separate steps.
You guys just make sure you do what works for you, and don't worry about like, oh, it seems like it's taking me too long. As long as you get it, that's all we care about, right? Okay.
Okay.
Do you have an inspirational message for us this time?
Sure. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land amongst the stars. See you next time.